Aussies struggling to make ends meet. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to have a look at this article from the New Daily discussing Aussies struggling to make ends meet, even before the interest rate rise. And, well, for those of you watching at home, the cash rate has indeed increased. See that little... Regulars will know I haven't changed this chart for forever, and I finally had to. See that little pixel move at the end of the line? The cash rate has gone up. And, of course, that's having an impact on people's mortgages. And as rates go up higher and higher, which is going to happen, mortgages are going to go up more and more. And more people are going to, well, we're going to see more of these articles about people struggling, people doing it tough. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of sob stories. ABC will plaster them all over the place. I don't know where they find these people, but they'll plaster sob stories and bullshit, frankly, all through the media to emotionally manipulate you to get you to click on stuff. Now, Australians used to have a reputation of being a fairly tough and resilient people. And honestly, if we go through some tough times, if, the good times for some people disappear, I think a lot of people will have to learn what life is really like, and that some of the things they consider a necessity are actually a luxury. That's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. For some people, that could be the best thing that ever happened to them. It could be a point in their lives that they take control of their financial situation, and they do a Dave Ramsey and say never again. That can be a good thing, everyone. So it's not necessarily bad. We have to realize that sometimes good comes out of challenges and adversities. That seems to have been forgotten, at least in our culture. So, we've got to realize that Aussies will step up. A lot of them will. And we can't, let ourselves be, overtaken too much by the media and all the fear and concern and the negativity surrounding things. So let's have a look at this. Many Australians will struggle to make ends meet in an economic environment of rising interest rates when their wages are failing to keep pace with rampant inflation. Okay, what do you think the way is to increase your wages, guys? How do you increase your wages? Do you one, sit in a job and just do nothing and wait for wages to grow? Or do you take it on your own initiative to increase your own wages, to improve your skills, and to change jobs? I mean, isn't that what you need to do? If you're in business, you want to earn more money. You need to get more projects. You need to provide more services. You need to sell more products. You need to win more businesses. You need to win more tenders. You need to get out there and network and develop more relationships. How's that different from being an employee? You need to network. You need to build more relationships and look at more opportunities. Always have the feelers out there. Because that's the best way to increase your wages, is to increase your skills and jump from one opportunity to the next. And this is coming from a small business owner that would train people up, and then we'd lose them because they'd get double the pay somewhere else. Good on her. That's life. And that was my understanding. That's what you have to do to get your wages up. Sitting in the one job and getting a steady pay rise, that's boomer mentality. That's previous generations. You've got to hustle a bit more these days. And you don't want to be too dependent on one business or one company family, because there's no loyalty on either side. It's just how it is. While the Morrison government and the Reserve Bank of Australia like to talk about the savings buffer that has been built during the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, the reality is many households are already finding life difficult. A survey by financial comparison website Finder revealed almost 1 in 3 Australian homeowners were feeling the pinch, even before the RBA raised the cash rate to 0.35% from 0.1% last week, the first increase since 2010. That increase will be passed on to borrowers in full by the 4 big banks and other lenders in coming weeks. Yeah, 100%. Rates are going to go up, guys. You're going to have to find more money. But here's the thing. Most of us locked in. When good old Reserve Bank Governor Phillip was telling us, no interest rate rises until 2024, none of us believed a word of it. None of us at all. So how many people locked in? I know a lot of people, a lot of viewers of the channel locked in. I bloody well locked in. And okay, so that means I've got 2 years to ensure I have enough capacity to pay for the increasing interest rates. You've just got to plan for it, everyone. You've got time. And there will be some that won't plan for it. There will be some that that will blame the banks for lending them too much money, that will blame the government or blame others. But that's life. You're either someone who blames others or you deal with the situation in front of you. And there are going to be a whole lot of Australians that realise how strong they are out of this. So finder Sarah Megginson said it was likely to lead to a further rise in mortgage stress in May and June as monthly payments inflated. The past 2 years have seen a record number of buyers enter the property market, but many haven't budgeted for a rainy day, she said. Well, you haven't had to. We had our first recession in 28 years. The last recession we had before this one, I was a kid. I remember construction was quieting down for my father's business. My mother's mobile hair care was doing well, but we left Victoria, where I was born, and we moved to Queensland during that recession. We were the Mexicans coming up to Queensland that they all hated. And they had this weird thing up here. They played the AFL differently. They ran into each other. It's strange. She advised those borrowers who were seriously struggling to afford their repayments to speak to their lender straight away, as they may be able to restructure their loans and ease the pain. See, this is the thing. This is why when you've got predictions of property going down 50%, 70%, even the RBA modelling 40% in their worst-case scenario, that the media jumps on and plays up, people are going to find ways to, at least particularly homeowners, they're going to find ways to keep it going. The banks will do a lot to stop, before they have to kick people out of their house because, well, we live in a social media age. There's a precedent been set now for mortgage holidays. It's a pain in the ass. It costs money. And people will do everything they can. They'll sell everything they can. They'll rent out the rooms they can. They will get other jobs they can. Because in Australia, there's, a class divide between a homeowner and not being a homeowner. That's the way our country's becoming, everyone. That's it. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The outlook does not get any easier, with the RBA indicating it will do whatever it takes to curb inflation. It is forecasting inflation to reach 6% by the end of this year, almost double what it expected just a few months ago. As a result, JP Morgan economist Ben Jarman expects the cash rate to be increased by 0.4% to the RBA's June meeting, which would return the rate to its pre-pandemic levels of 0.75. Wait till we hit 3%, everyone. What was used to be considered the emergency rate. Wait for that to happen. By November, and after a series of further increases, he expects the cash rate to have reached 1.5%. Finance Minister Simon Birmingham conceded Australia faced huge international economic pressures. There is no doubt that the economic pressures around the world have fueled inflation in a range of ways. Australia is not immune to that, Senator Birmingham told Sky News. The RBA has upgraded its forecasts for wage growth to 3% by the year end. But this would still be half the rate of inflation. It does not expect wages to outpace prices until the end of 2023. The key to lifting wages is lifting productivity, Labor leader Anthony Albanese said in Sydney. He's promising a Labor government would work with businesses and unions with the aim of lifting wages, conveying a full employment summit and changing industrial laws to make secure work an objective. So let's have a talk about this one, guys. So what do you reckon? Do you think Labor's got the solutions to our housing problems here? Or no, sorry, not housing. I'm so used to housing. To labour and wages? I don't really think so. More bureaucracy, more red tape, more interference in the market. No, that's not going to be the solution. It's not going to make any difference. You've got to realise we're now competing in a global market. And you've got to appreciate the fact, and I'm in an industry that has been competing like this for years, that people can offshore, people can outsource. That changes, the way you have to work and how you have to compete. I still think wages are going to increase naturally by the market with supply and demand. You just need to make sure you have the skills and capability to take advantage of that. And that's not going to be easy for some. You've got to adapt and change. And often it's going to be looking at flexible opportunities for working, maybe finding multiple jobs that you can do to supplement your income. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. That's a real old-fashioned way of thinking that I don't think is safe or sensible these days. So what do you reckon? Do you think Australians are struggling to make ends meet We've got a finder survey here, the basis of this article, and obviously a partisan approach in this publication. See, I'm a little skeptical about it, everyone. We'll have to see what happens. I honestly think most people will probably rise to the challenge that most people are giving Aussies credit for. What do you reckon, everyone? How about you share some advice and suggestions of times that you've done it tough and you've turned your life around, or you've gotten your shit together and got on with it? You know, isn't that normal? I thought that's normal. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I put together here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our referral links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, or you can use our architectural services. Just give us a call. We've done a lot of education, mining, and commercial work. Take care, guys. I don't know. I mean, we're going to see more and more articles of people struggling to make ends meet, but we're always going to see that. You're always going to have it, and people go through these periods in their lives. Don't let it manipulate you. Take care, guys.